Hi everybody, welcome to Quarter Inch Seam. You're in my sewing room. I'm Angela and it is pouring. It has rained like we live in Seattle for the last like 2 weeks. But the good news is it's dry here in the sewing room. So we are still quilting the Mammoth Carpenter Star, but the good news is it's going a bit faster than I had anticipated, and you guys are going to want to be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell twice so you get all the notifications. And just as a note, and I'll say this a couple times, tomorrow night's live, so our Wednesday night live, will not be at 6 o'clock Eastern time. It will be at 5:30 Eastern time. So you got to adjust the time wherever you are. But 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday, because somebody booked a meeting and I got all smushed up in my schedule. So tomorrow night will be earlier, 5:30. So we're still on the, oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about some binding stuff. We're going to do a binding video again this week because I want to change a little bit about what we did on the last one, and I know how I'm going to bind this one. I'm excited. I'm excited. Thank God it's not 100 degrees outside, because you know when you do the quilting on your home, on your, you know, when you quilt it, you know, you end up just engulfed under this. But I'll tell you what I do. I'll tell you what I do in this situation. Okay. All right, we're on. Ready? Okay, close your eyes. So we're doing stitch in the ditch. We're just doing the lines, and then we're gonna try and go back. I'm trying to get my lipstick on it. Have you ever done that? Oh, okay. Also, firm grip. I like them. Great. I mean, they're just tacky enough to give you, you know, some grip, but not so tacky as to make them like sticky or gross. And I think we got a pack of either, I think it was like 12 pair. I can't see it. 12 pair for like $5 at Home Depot. Don't buy expensive quilting gloves. That's just my opinion, but don't do it. Resist the urge. Save your money for fabric. Okay, here we go. So I think, with a couple of exceptions where I have to go back and kind of catch up, I think I've got most of the like vertical lines done. And so far, so good. You know, I was watching a video the other day, and somebody made a good point. So I'm kind of trying to be a little bit more conscious of it. And what she said was, now, I think that this is made easier across all of your projects if you have the little laser beam, you know. But if you don't, she was using, oh, the birdies are coming out. The rain must be slowing down. She was using her like stitch in the ditch foot which I would too, except for the fact that I wanted to use the walking foot on this one, which is now my bestie. Oh, jeez. It was all under the table. God. And now this is specifically when she was using her stitch in the ditch foot. I don't know what you call it, but that's what I think she called it. Anyway, but I think it applies also if you have the little laser, or as you're sewing in general. Her point was this: the needle knows where it's going. You need to pay attention just before the needle, either if like where your laser is, or if you're doing a stitch in the ditch where that little knife is, that little guide, because the needle knows where it's going. I thought that the way she phrased it, I thought was really interesting. The needle knows where it's going, but what you do just before the needle does what it does, that's going to be important. And I sometimes have a tendency to do that. I'm paying so much attention to what's going on, either at the needle or in the hole, or, and that's even when I have the laser on sometimes. Focus on what the laser is doing, or whatever guide you have. Anyway, I just thought that was very interesting. Now, the only problem in my sewing room is, as I sew, the chair pushes me back. So I have to keep pulling myself forward. What are you doing? What did you work on today? Did you bring your sewing stuff? Everybody's working on such cool projects right now because we're doing September to Remember what you have to finish. And finishing out those UFOs. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So Steve, on the first video for this series, Steve said, well, what's the title? And I said, starting your UFO or something like that. And so it was about 10 minutes later, all of a sudden he came into my office and he said, does anyone even know in sewing what a UFO is? He said, what is it? I said, yeah, trust me, if they're a quilter, it's the second thing you learn. The first is how to turn your sewing machine on. The second is what a UFO is. I told him, I was like, yeah, they know. It's okay, they know. Trust me. The cool thing about this month is everybody's doing there's such a variety of projects that y'all are working on. Oh, I love it. It's maybe it's the table. Is that what's crooked? Something is crooked. Anyway. So, I am going to do a slightly different binding technique on this. And I'm kind of excited to do it on this one, only because I don't necessarily want the binding fabric, which I'm going to use the backing, because I have plenty left over. And we're going to look at it tomorrow. But I think I'm going to do the background fabric on it. And I think I'm not going to roll it over to the front. We'll see. I feel very industrial in these gloves. Not going to lie. Okay, now Um, have I gone all the way around this thing? No. That's not possible. No. Okay. But I've sewn, what direction have I sewn these in? All right, let's just see. Let's take a little bit of stock here. So, I think, let's turn this and come down. Where am I at? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, geez. I can't, hold on a second. I gotta figure out where I'm at. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, come down there. And then start going down. Okay, all right. So, we're going to go around the square. We're going to go down this side. Because I'm here. Okay. You can definitely tell. I don't know, it's like somebody flipped a switch because the weather is changing. And it doesn't usually happen this early here. September is usually still pretty warm. But it's definitely, yeah. It's definitely. In fact, it's been, we've had, oh my gosh, we've had so much rain. Nothing severe, like we haven't had any for hurricane threats or anything like that where we're at. But just rain every day. And the rain's getting cold. Today, Steve went outside to go and shoot a video. And I swear to you, I heard that garage door close and the sky opened up. It was like they knew. No, you're not doing it now. So, anyway. Time to get all your fall stuff out. I have, so once we kind of finish this week we're gonna kind of wrap this one up. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. We've lost all fold, all of it. All order on this right now, all of it. There's just no, it's just one great thing, which I knew was going to happen. It always happens when I do this. Let's get you straight. Okay, there you go. Back you up a little bit. Okay. We have 2 videos that I think we're going to do towards the end of the week for the Is It Really That Simple series, which you're going to like. One of them is a really cool quilt square that you could actually turn into a whole big project. And so you're going to want to find a fabric that you have that has like a picture or an image on it that you love. You know, I'll give you an example. I have here's a good example. My butterflies. Like that butterfly fabric, that would be a good one to use because you could really pick out, oh, I really love this butterfly, or the way it's sitting on a tree or a flower or whatever. And you could cut out a square about just that image. Or sometimes, you know, I've bought fabric where there was an image that I liked, like a bird or a flower or whatever. But the rest of the fabric was kind of, but I liked the bird. So this would be a good project for that. If you don't necessarily like the rest of the fabric, but you do have an image on there that you like, it's going to be a good project for it. It's going to be good. Maybe we'll do that on Thursday. The chair. Okay. I'm doing a pot roast tonight, and I'll tell you why. It's a little chilly, so I thought some pot roast comfort food might be nice. And we can have it again tomorrow night, and tomorrow night is just kind of crazy, so, you know, I can run out, shove it in the microwave to warm it up, and be done. Okay, hold on a second here. Remember, get those seams open. Watch where the laser's going. Anyway, what are you working on? Did you bring your quilting stuff? It's just for a few minutes. You can look out the window. Catch your breath. Sometimes we just don't do enough of that, do we? Just stop for 5 minutes. Just stop. There's so much noise. How relaxing is it to just, right? Okay, now we're going to stop it there. She's got to come up because now we're going to, we're going to come back and we're going to do the other way lines, the horizontal lines. The other half, the other portion of them. Okay. Okay. So that's one project that we're gonna do. See? It wasn't quite I was watching, but I wasn't quite paying attention. Oh gosh. Oh, my arms. Fuzz and hair. Fuzz, not hair. Fuzz. And thread. That is one thing that I have to remind myself when I question, who cares if the points are lined up? Because when you're quilting, especially if you're doing something like this, it will make a difference. Because otherwise your line's going to jump around. So if you're a new quilter and you're like, oh, who cares if the lines match up, you know? Maybe. Because when you go to quilt it, you're going to have to move your line or not quilt that. I don't know. That's a good question. What do you do? Tell me in the comments. What do you do if you've sewn your top, you know, your quilt top, and your points don't necessarily match up? What do you do if you're going to stitch in a ditch for the quilting? Do you sew straight even though it's not straight? Or do you kind of follow the seam? I know it's a good question, huh? Oh, I'm so glad I used this blue. Uh-oh. And here we come to that very scenario. Whoops, I touched something. Sorry. Sorry! No, I don't like how I handled that. I'll show you guys in a second. So, and again, it's probably not necessarily something that anybody would notice. Let's do this. Okay, so can you see right here? So I was coming down the line here, right? Pretty good. And then my seams don't match up right there. Let's see if I can show you with a pen. Okay, here's the original line, right, that I'm sewing on. Here's the new seam where the points didn't match up. So you can see they're off. So what I did was I came down and just continued on the line that I was on and then just kind of guided it back over into the seam. Give me your advice on how you handle that. Do you stop? Oh, that's what I should have done. That's what I should have done. I should have stopped, cut it. Then there'd be a gap. What would you do? Or what do you do? Maybe you've never had that happen before. I, on the other hand, am a frequent visitor to that problem. Okay. Ba-ba-da. Now, we shall... I keep hitting stuff on the... I need to lock the screen. Lock. There we go. I keep reaching over to grab the quilt and I end up hitting stuff. Okay. All right. Tomorrow we are going to finish the quilting. Tomorrow, that's my deadline. I want to finish the. Uh-oh. That's what happens when the laser turned off. Tomorrow, we want to finish the quilting so that on Thursday, we can start the binding. Yes! Ha ha! A year and a half. And I'll tell you what my sweet husband told me. He said, why do you keep talking about that quilt like you don't really like it? He said, it's so pretty. It's got great colors. It's a great design. It's nice and big. It's going to be so comfortable. You used good fabric. I said, I don't know. I don't know why I convinced myself it just wasn't my favorite. Because as I'm sitting underneath it, which is the last big deep point I'll leave you with today. Because you're not going to get a little philosophical here. I mean, why are you here? Anyway. I think that, and listen, it's true. When you watch movies or read books or hear stories about people that, especially when all quilting, when the whole process was done basically by hand. But even for those of you that still hand quilt your quilts, or You know, there was a mix. There was a time when, you know, people used to machine piece and then, you know, hand quilt. I find it is an incredible opportunity to think about the people that you're going to give this to, or think about why you made this quilt. You know, who's going to lay underneath it, or, you know, who's going to be comforted by it someday. You know? And I've done lots of blankets and quilts and, you know, rag quilts for my nephews and my nieces. And I crocheted a really pretty purple blanket for my sister-in-law. And I found that the majority of the time it was weird. As soon as I would start working on it, I would start thinking about that person. Not necessarily intentionally. Not like I said, you know what, I really could use a think about Mary. So I think I'll pull that blanket out and work on that so that I can think about her. It just happens. It just happens. Yeah. When my grandmother was in, she had dementia, and my mom was her primary caregiver, and she was still living at home with my mom, and my mom was still working, not my grandmother. My mom was still working, and it was getting harder and harder for my mom. The worse, the deeper that my grandmother got with her dementia. And my mom, I don't know how she did it. Anyway, my grandmother ended up taking not a really nasty fall, but she took a small fall, and then she got sick. It's a much more involved, long, drawn out story, but I won't bore you with it today. She got sick. She went into the hospital. She was getting better. She was getting better physically, but she wasn't necessarily getting better, obviously, with the dementia. And so her doctor said, I'm going to admit her, because I can't really send her home right now because she still needs care. And then, so I'm going to admit her into this nursing home facility. And it has different stages of care. And then, you know, we'll kind of take it week by week, blah, 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 see how she's doing and whatever. And the long and the short of it is, she ended up having to stay. She ended up staying in the nursing home, and she was there for about 2 years. She was there through, where we all got sick that year. And she passed away. While she was there, Steve and I went to go and see her because we had lived. Sorry for all that noise. Gosh, my throat was dry. While she was there, we went down to see her, and I had crocheted her a blanket, like a lap blanket, to how long. There wasn't a day that I worked on that blanket that I swear to you, no matter what I was dealing with, as soon as I pulled that out and my crochet needle, I just started thinking about my grandmother. amazing how this craft does that, isn't it? So tell me about a special memory that you have of a project that you've worked on that while you were doing it, you just kept thinking about the person that this was going to. Okay, so this little part here, let's get repositioned here and slow down just a smidge, because we're a little bit looser in here. Oh my God, my chair. I just, these things have locks on them. I don't think they do. She needs brakes. Okay. Tell you what, all the stuff that intimidates me, not all, so many of the things that I get intimidated about, or you get a little bit fretful about, tell you what, once you start them, just jump in and start them, for heaven's sakes. I've been dreading this quilt. I've been dreading doing the quilting part. And you know what? Every time I quilt a quilt, I dread getting it on here and getting myself positioned and getting myself comfortable. Just do it. For heaven's sake. Just do it. Why? Because it's so rewarding. And it's never as bad as you think it is. Seriously, we're just splitting right along. That's not very attractive. Okay, I have to do some arm work, but right now, I'm supposed to be at work. I'm not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be working. But I'm telling you, if you were looking at this, you'd call in sick. But I don't mind. I don't mind, and I'll tell you why. Because the pot roast, that just does its own thing. So that's going to be easy. Just throw that puppy in the oven. And I think I'm going to sneak back in here a little later and just get a little more of this done, because I'm not going to be able to lift the pot roast out of the oven today. Because Thursday she's getting binding. Getting binding on Thursday, sweetheart. Whoa. And you couldn't even imagine. How did I do this? I was looking at the quilt. How did I almost do this? I almost sewed right into this huge safety pin. Holy cow. Okay, I'm just going to finish this row. There's only a few inches. And then she's coming. She's coming along. She is coming along. Well, binding and she'll be done. Oh, I saw a video of a woman that had binding attachment. Do you have a binding attachment? Do you like it? Does it work? Is it a pain in the patootie? Gosh, it looked nice. Binding on, done. Was nice. Okay, I have to go back to work. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic. Don't forget. Tomorrow's live is at 5:30 Eastern time. It's not at 6. It's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. 5:30 Eastern. Okay, Angela, we get it. Jeez. Anyway, tomorrow's live is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Put it in your calendar. Hit the little notifications, because then as soon as I go live, you're going to get it. You're going to know. What else? Have a fantastic evening. Have a fabulous morning. Drop me a line in the comments. And don't forget, only a 1/4 inch seam. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at what time? 5:30. Have a good evening. Love you. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome to 1/4 inch seam. Okay, I said we were going to finish stuff in September, and this is what we're going to start with. So, welcome to 1/4 inch seam. I'm Angela, you're in my sewing room. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, here we go. Now, the first project, because this one is really big, and it's the closest to being done. And everybody has an unfinished project like this. So, like the one where you ask yourself, why haven't I done this by now? So that's what we're going to start today. So, this is the, hi Min. Hi Minnie, do you want to come and say hello? I don't know if they can see you. I don't think they can see you all. Here she goes. Minnie, lay on your blanket. Right there is your blanket. Go lay down. Okay, so I started this. I started in the living room, but I wanted you guys to get your own project out that you're going to start finishing. And while I work on mine. I don't know what that is. Piece of fuzz. There's thread in. I have thread and fuzz everywhere. Okay, so this is. I'll stand up. Let me get up, Minnie. Okay. So this is. Here she is. You're not gonna be able to see the whole thing. It's too big. It's a big one. It's somebody in the comments. I always forget what star this is. You can't even see what star it is. I don't even know if it's the right side up. I just grabbed it to bring it back in here. There you have it. It's very, very pretty. And we'll take some pictures and stuff when it's done. But for now, oh my God. And it's so heavy. Okay, here for now, Now, this table is not really big enough, so I'm probably going to finish working on this on the floor in the living room later. But I've been trying to clean up some of the sewing room and get some stuff moved around. And so we are going to start sandwiching this, basting it. I've already got the 3 layers on. This is the one where I wasn't that excited about the backing, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm not changing now. The only issue is I gotta get this puppy trimmed because I have to. So we're gonna start here on my table and see, let's turn the overhead on so you guys can kind of start to see what we're working with, and we'll move you out a little bit. We're gonna have to do some pressing. We're gonna have to, oh my gosh, stuff is falling. Holy cow. Hey, don't forget that tomorrow, Sunday, is our live, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the little bell twice so that it says all notifications, so that you get all of the notifications, because that's what we want. Now, I've kind of made a mess because I have yards of this. Oh my gosh, I have way more backing here, obviously, than I needed. But the problem is I can't get this whole thing up here. We are really going to have to you know what I really think we're going to have to do? I think we're going to have to take the front off of the backing. We're going to have to do this in 2 steps because, yeah, it's just not going to. Why did I buy so much fabric? Okay, so what we're going to try and do just today is get started with the kind of gluing the front, the quilt top, to the backing. And then maybe, if we're lucky, while we're at it, we'll kind of start. Now I know this is a little bit untraditional, but I don't have enough room to lay the whole thing out in here. So we're just going to take it section by section. And we're just going to go slow. And I think we'll work down like this one side and glue and trim kind of a little bit as we go. Let's turn the iron on. So, and let me do this so that you guys can see me too. Hello. Hello! Now, for this project, unlike with the binding you just use your fingers. You just dribble a little bit of glue in there and it's done. But I think I'm going to use a couple of these big Q-tips that I showed you guys that I had. Because we'll be able to kind of spread and press and spread and press and spread and press. Okay, so what are you working on today? What are you doing? Did you get out one of your projects? Which project? Come on, we gotta finish something in the month of September. Some of you finish stuff every week. You're fantastic. And some of you are like me, and it's very rare that you finish anything. And then when we're done here today, how many? Dad promised. We're going for a walk at there's a little tiny, we call it the lake. It's a pond. It's really just a pond. Okay. Get this on here. All right, now we'll try and clip some of this stuff as we go. I'm so excited to have this one finished. And not because it's one of my favorites, but just because it was so big, it was a lot of work. And I'm just I'm ready to have it done. I'm ready to have it done. It's good. So we're going to start with the front. Now, a bunch of people, and I watched some videos, everybody says they use the Elmer's glue to base their quilts. So we're going to follow the same method since I fell in love with it so much. Oh my gosh, I got something in my eyes today. My eyes are very itchy and sore. Ooh. Since I fell in love with it on the binding, the natural progression is to do it on right? Now, technically, we want to, and see then what I was thinking, let's just see if we even need this. I don't know if we really need this. I think we're going to end up wasting glue. I think we're just wasting glue by using the Q-tip. I think that just setting down some droplets of it is going to be really quite adequate. Okay? And then we're just going to smooth that piece back. We're going to work in this little square quadrant for today and get through as much of it as we can. And we're going to give it a little press. Remember the great thing, because a bunch of people had asked this, you know, what about it gumming up? Oh no. Oh no, no. Oh no. Look at that. Oh no. Put that long, ugly purple thread in there. No. Oh no. Now it's already... Wow, that was close. Did you guys see that? I don't know if you could see it or not. There was a thread on the inside. Oh, it was terrible, and you could see it right through the white. Okay. I will say this. That catch is pretty quick. I'm going to do this corner up here a little bit. And I think I'm going to have to go and get the bigger bottle of glue. Okay. Okay. And now, just take the next piece. Let's see if we can do it this way. Let's see if we can come now. Let's see how much we can get on here. Okay, bear with me. There we go. Okay, now let's just pull this back. Yeah, it catches it. But I think we might wait on the ironing. Let's, for right now, just get this thing glued down. So. Okay. Batting fuzz got all over me and stuck to me when I had that emergency there. We had to. Okay, let's get all this stuff out of the way. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what did you do today? Or what are you doing tonight? We are taking Minnie for a little walk. out at the pond, humming. And then going to, I think tonight I'm finally going to make those chicken cutlets. Would you believe I still haven't made chicken cutlets for dinner? Okay. Got all this side done. I can feel the glue. And then here's the next question. So you guys can tell me in the comments what you think. Like, what would you... I'm tempted to just kind of stitch in the ditch again. That's what my temptation is just to do it that way. I wonder if I turn... Let's see if we can, let's see if this will work. Oh, that's kind of an interesting view. Let's pull it up just a little bit. And bring it down this way just a little bit. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with, okay? And you can see how it's kind of, right? All right, now let's move. Okay. Now. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm getting this thing done. Oh no. I can't believe it. It's a little cramped in here trying to do this. But it's okay, I don't mind. Because we're getting her done. Okay, remember, Angela, pull those purple threads out of the way because that was almost a disaster. Okay, so this is about where we stopped, okay? And so now this will take us to the end of that first section. Not too bad. Okay? So let's split it so you guys can see the top too, right? Just a little bit. I meant to split it. Okay. Lay her nice and flat, as best as you can. All right, here we go. Here we go. This part's gonna be a disaster. I can feel it. Okay. All right, we got that down. Now, we're just going to lay this back over. Okay. I do think that I prefer this to trying to use a spray. Unfortunately, my experience, while the sprays are fantastic because it does hold stuff down, the unfortunate part about it is that the spray gets on everything else, gets on all the surrounding stuff, and then it also doesn't give you much time if you have, made a little boo-boo or, if you've made an error, you don't have a whole lot of time to correct it with that spray. All right, let's go back over here and see. So we did this first section and we did iron it, okay? And I'm just curious, oh yeah, I think the ironing is worthwhile. I don't know, but that kept it down pretty good. So let's get this under here a little bit and just a little press. Okay. So, suggestions on on quilting. I'm open to suggestions on quilting. I think I'm just going to follow the outline of the squares and then do the internal parts on the squares. If you've used the glue method before, if you have any tips or tricks, I am going to go and lay this out on the floor in the living room, I think, because it's just too much trying to do it on this small table. This is like my cutting table, and so it's just it's too hard. There's too much fabric falling and pulling, and it would go much faster if I could just lay it out. Obviously, that's how we usually do it, right? Angela, what are you doing? I'm a little bit afraid to even try and trim any of this off, because I think if I do, I think I should wait. Don't you think I should wait? Oh, so on the glue method, because some people had some questions in the comments. So no, my needle has not been, I haven't had any gumming or gummed issue or anything like that, sticking or anything like that at all. Number two, it's washable glue. It's just, it's just Elmer's school glue. So when you put it when you wash this, when you're done with it and you put it in the wash, it just washes away. And so you're left with everything quilted and bound and everything in place, but it's not, you don't have the glue in there. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go and try and get the front and the back put on this evening, so that tomorrow for our live, we can actually quilt it or start quilting it. Let's not be overly ambitious, Angela. We're not going to get through the whole thing. But I do have to move some stuff around in here just a little bit so that I can do that tomorrow for our live. So 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, Eastern time. we are live. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell so that you get the notifications, and you want to make sure you get all notifications. Otherwise, they're sporadic and people have had problems. So you want to make sure that you click on all notifications. We have to click the little bell twice. And then you'll be here tomorrow, 11:30. And if not, you can always catch the replay. So I'm going to go and take this monstrosity and lay it out on my living room floor, and probably, oh no, it's starting to rain. We better hurry. I'm going to take Minnie for a walk, and then I'm going to get this thing glued on front and back, and then tomorrow we'll start sewing it. So I hope you have a fantastic evening, and I hope you have a fabulous morning tomorrow until I see you at 11:30. And is that it? Is there anything else? I know. Only a quarter-inch seam. Have a great evening, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Love ya. Bye.